Hundreds of residents across Sydney's south and southwest face a sleepless night, as a number of evacuation orders are still active. Key points: heavy rain is falling across the coast of NSW. Heavy rain is falling across the coast of NSW. Up to 300 millimeters of rain is forecast for coming days. Up to 300 millimeters of rain is forecast for coming days. People are being urged to not drive through floodwaters. The most recent was issued just after 6 p.m. for residents in parts of Camden. They have been given until 10 p.m. to leave their homes. While the deluge that sparked flash flooding today and drenched large swathes of NSW's coast has eased in some parts, it is expected to pick up again overnight. Earlier today, residents in Chipping Norton were also ordered to leave, with many stranded after rising waters closed bridges and roads, bringing traffic to a standstill. Locals told the ABC that not knowing how deep the water was going to get was worrying. "I've lived here since 1980, resident Muriel and Wright said. Supposedly, it's a 1 in 50-year flood area, and now it's once a month. We're waiting to see if we can go across. If it gets a little bit deeper, they can maybe get a boat in, and we can get in to get other things that we need." The notification from the SES said to evacuate by 3 p.m. or 3:30 p.m., but it's been cut off since 1 p.m. Rising floodwaters brought traffic to a standstill at Chipping Norton. Parts of Wallachia, near Warragamba Dam, and Camden were subject to evacuation warnings as of 5 p.m. Bureau of Meteorologists senior hydrologist Ailsa Schofield said heavy rainfall would persist for the rest of the day across the Hunter, parts of the Central Coast, Greater Sydney, the Illawarra, and South Coast. The heavy rain is predicted to ease overnight, but showers will continue tomorrow. And the wet weather is set to hang around, with the La Nina event expected to continue until the end of April, Ms. Schofield says. Stranded Chipping Norton residents don't know when they will be able to get back home. NSW says Acting Commissioner Daniel Austin said the organisation had responded to 680 requests for assistance, including 25 flood rescues over the past 24 hours. Mr. Austin said the most serious rescues were caused by flash flooding in the Sutherland Shire and Illawarra. "We've seen exceptionally sharp, short bursts of rain that have created significant flash flooding events," he said. He said several schools had closed in the Illawarra due to the downpour. People leaving the city for the school holidays, which begin for most students this weekend, are being warned to drive carefully over the coming days. Authorities say once floodwaters reach 1.7 m, the Warrenora Bridge will be submerged and parts of the suburb will become isolated. Emergency crews were called to St Basil's Aged Care on Garden St Kogara about 2:30 a.m. Earlier, people living in low-lying areas of Warrenora and Bonnet Bay, in the Sutherland Shire, were given until 11:30 a.m. to evacuate. The evacuation warnings for those areas were issued at about 5 a.m. this morning due to rising water levels in the Warrenora River. Warrenora resident Linda Janssen, whose property backs onto the river, said she had never seen it run this fast before. "I'm a little nervous," she said. "Our property is up quite high. For those properties that are a bit lower, it's a real worry." Crews door knocking in Warrenora this morning. In Kogara, flash flooding inundated the Princes Highway at about 3 a.m. this morning, and some residents of an aged care home were evacuated overnight as water entered the building. Oil and diesel have also been spilling from the Caltex refinery at Cornell after a pump failed at the facility. The SES said several roads had been closed and motorists should avoid the area. Sydney surpassed its average annual rain total already this year, after posting its wettest day of 2022 in the 24 hours to 9 a.m. today. More than 114 millimeters of rain was recorded in the gauges at Observatory Hill in the CBD this morning. Torrential rain fell in parts of the city overnight, including 107 millimeters at Cronulla Bowls Club in the 3 hours to 1:10 a.m. this morning. There was also 107 millimeters of rainfall recorded in Little Bay in just 6 hours. M to mute, left and right arrows to seek, up and down arrows for volume. Watch 9 seconds 9S motorist being rescued after being trapped in floodwaters in Casula. Download 1.2 megabytes. Floodwaters have cut off Newbridge Road at Chipping Norton in Sydney's southwest. Earlier today, flooding stopped traffic, closing roads in Chipping Norton, Menangle, Narrabeen, Mona Vale and Oxford Falls. Residents were encouraged to avoid the area, with social media videos showing cars attempting to cross floodwaters in Manly's CBD. Yesterday, the BOM issued a severe weather warning for an area stretching from Newcastle to past Bega in the state's south.